Good Monday afternoon, everyone. I am William Theo, and this is PTV News Now. High on our list of stories at this time, the latest weather menace to hit the country is ravaging its northern parts with gale-force winds of over 100 miles per hour or 160 kilometers per hour. And no less than the country's commissariat in Chief is keeping close tabs on the movement of Typhoon Julian as it crosses over and battles the Babuyan and Batanes group of islands. He also made mention of the status of relief efforts during the inauguration of the STB Gigafactory in Capas, Tarlac earlier in the afternoon. In fielding questions from media people after the event, the president said his response team is prepping for Hurricane Julian's winds blowing stronger and the potentially huge damage on the places in her path. Wind signal number 4 has already been hoisted even as Julian continues to dump torrential rains and drench parts of regions 1, 2, and 3. Meanwhile, it has been nearly a year since Hezbollah fighters launched rockets across and into the Holy Land the day after the notorious and gory Hamas attacks inside Israel that left 1,200 dead. Earlier today, the Israeli Defense Forces launched its first salvo in the air on otherwise untouched Lebanese capital of Beirut. The first strike hit an apartment building in the capital that a Palestinian militant group claimed killed at least 3. This latest attack on Beirut is putting on the region in a knife's edge, even as pleas and warnings from the United Nations, France, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and the United States over a region-wide war that could erupt anytime soon have fallen on deaf ears on Netanyahu and his coalition government. U.S. President Joe Biden has been all but helpless and a non-factor in trying to eke out a ceasefire from Netanyahu, who has practically mocked Biden's entreaties and pleas since the get-go. He may have the unenviable distinction of being a one-man term president, but the former peanut farmer from Plains, Georgia is also the most successful ex-president in uplifting the lives of millions and the only one in the history of the Union to reach the age of 100. VOA's Kane Faribault tells us more.
It was a celebration fit for a centenarian. The Fox Theater in Atlanta hosted dozens of musical acts and thousands of guests for a concert celebrating the 100th birthday of Georgia's former governor and U.S. President, Jimmy Carter.
And it's a way to be together, and I think that is who he is fundamentally.
Jason Carter believes the concert, featuring some performers who campaigned for his grandfather in the 1970s, is a unifying and bipartisan way to celebrate what one documentary film director calls the rock and roll president.
That brings people together across geographies, across culture, across any sort of racial dividing lines. I mean, you'll have Democrats, Republicans in here tonight.
One person noticeably absent from the celebration was Jimmy Carter himself. He remains in hospice care at his home, a town 240 kilometers south of Atlanta.
It's a 600-person village in the middle of nowhere, and all of his other work at the end of the road in Africa has been in those same kinds of 600-person villages, and he feels a kinship there, he feels a connection there, and I think the way that he marks this moment is by being at home.
Jimmy Carter celebrates his historic birthday milestone quietly at his home here in Plains, Georgia, where on October 1st, 1924, Lillian Carter gave birth to the first U.S. president born in a hospital.
But the only reason he was born in a hospital was because his mother was working that day.
Jill Stuckey is a Carter family friend who serves as superintendent of the Jimmy Carter National Historical Park, which includes his preserved Depression-era boyhood farm, the old Plains High School where he studied, and the railroad depot that he converted into his campaign headquarters in his successful 1976 White House bid.
Of course, a lot of them head straight to peanut butter ice cream.
Stuckey says Plains celebrates their famous neighbor every day, but this historic birthday is marked by serving others.
We're naturalizing 100 new citizens in his honor.
Carter's milestone is a bittersweet occasion in Plains. It's the first spent without his wife Rosalind, who passed away last November.
77 and a half years of marriage, to be without your soulmate. You know, it's very, very tough times.
The birthday celebration, which began at the Fox Theater in September and ends in Plains October 1st, brought Carter's large extended family together, including his great-grandson, Charlie Carter.
You'll probably never be to a bigger birthday party, right?
No. Maybe it's 101.
Carter also holds the record for the longest post-presidential career. Since departing the White House in 1981, he and his wife founded the Atlanta-based global nonprofit Carter Center, which fights neglected tropical diseases, promotes peaceful conflict resolution, and monitors elections around the world, causes which led him to be awarded the 2002 Nobel Peace Prize. Kane Fairbaugh, VOA News, Plains, Georgia.
And that's a wrap for this Monday afternoon. Join us anew later this tonight for the evening news break edition. Stay connected by keeping it here for news you can count on. I am William Theo, and thank you for watching PTV News Now.